Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So let's go ahead and jump on into a single storyline. These are the ones where we assume our character is completely single and we just see where the storyline takes us. Sometimes it's about love. Lately, it actually really has been. That's not always the case, though. We're going to start out with one card out of a very different deck. We have got Familiar Bunny. Okay, so I feel like we got this. I don't know if it was for the singles, but we got it not too long ago because I remember saying, well, this is all about fertility. Hey, Ruth, thanks for popping in over here too, honey. Um, this could be a lot of fertility. There's like, let me put it this way, the angels of fertility are kind of hovering around someone. So that could mean if a character wants to like plant something in their lives, now could be a very auspicious time for that. Likewise, if a character does not wish to plant something in their lives, they may need to be mindful about that, take precautions. We've got a 7 of Wands, we've got a 3 of Cups in the reverse, and we got the Chariot. I almost said the Cheerio. Don't ask me why. Maybe somebody's eating Cheerios, or maybe it's that British Cheerio. I'm half British, so that really is something that pops into my head from time to time. Um, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that wherever the fertility is, it's not where our person currently resides, meaning someone is breaking away from a complex thought pattern. They are leaving behind any any thought they used to entertain about like maybe I'll be reuniting with someone. No, they're moving forward. Their fertility lies elsewhere, whatever that means. Um, it could be it could be a situation where, yeah, Knight of Swords. This character has to move forward swiftly, swiftly, gone, done, out of reach of whatever and whomever this was. This character is not moving backwards at all. There's no reconciliation in this story. This is them saying, you know what, I think I'm done with. I think I'm done with people, places, things, and relations that are just complicated. I'm going to move forward. And as I move forward, I'm going to go ahead and go right on into whatever comes next for me. I want to plant my life in a space where there's fertile ground. I want relationships that can become something that really grows and really blossoms, and it ain't where I've been. That's what I would say. In fact, we have a character who is like, we see a dragon who's like hoarding all of their gold. I really think that our lead character is saying, I am not going to get sucked back into somebody's drama. I am not. The gold is basically like, I know what sweet nectar I have. I know that I am gold, and I'm not about to let just anybody come in and, take my energy. Nope, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to meet somebody new. I'm going to have new adventures. I'm going to put my energy somewhere that isn't here, someplace I've never been before. So this is exciting because we have a character that's like moving forward. We got Hierophant. They are very, very clearly listening to their higher self. So this single character, so far we have Cancer, and then we have Taurus. And B, sweetheart, I see your message out there. Yes, I will re-release the message that I recorded yesterday for Cancer, and Cancer gets a second video right after this. Okay, I'm going into all the zodiacs after this, but Cancer is number one, and you guys also get to actually finish watching the video that I posted yesterday. Well, it was late last night. I didn't forget about my Cancerians, I promise, guys. So you actually get a double feature today, and I just scratched my own nose. But yeah, with this strong Cancerian energy and this forward motion and this listening to one's own higher self and this, decision making process, this is a single character who's like, you know what? I'm going to be married someday, and it's going to not be to this joker, and it's not going to be to anybody from my past. I'm going to be in charge of a big company. I'm going to build something beautiful for myself. I know it, I see it. And I think this is almost like what I have in my mind right now is somebody who's getting in a car and they're driving forward, and now that they actually like are in the act of putting their foot down on the gas pedal and moving into this journey, the confidence of like, yeah, I'm making the right choice. Yes, I know that I'm supposed to take this journey forward in my life. I'm supposed to take this trip. It feels more and more hopeful and exciting. But I do think that this character is kind of going to surrender a lot to chance. And when I say chance, it's more that they're going to listen to their higher self at every step of the way. Who should I meet? Who should I connect with? Where should I go? If this character is physically moving away, moving to a new location, they may be saying, I'm not 100% sure where I'm moving to yet, but I'll find it. I'll know it when I see it. I'm on a journey. It could have a few twists and turns, but I'm going to check in with my higher self along the way and say, do I feel like I should go down this street, down this neighborhood road? Yeah, for some reason, everything in me says go to the right. So I'm going to go to the right. Oh, Marcy V, thank you so much, sweetheart. You are so kind. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful donation. I appreciate you. You are amazing in return, sweetheart. Thank you. The fact that, oh, wow, the devil. So now we see our character is the thing that, how do I say this? You know, when I said just now, our character is going to be sensing, like, do I go to the right? Do I go to the left? They're not just listening to their higher self to say, what am I drawn to? They're listening to their higher self to say, what feels toxic? Okay, I'm going to veer away from that. So they're using like negative stimuli as a marker, a road marker. Let's go back to the analogy of somebody driving down the road. When we're driving and we see a sign that says warning, falling rocks, and we go, okay, it's pouring buckets of rain. That road literally says warning, falling rocks. I can see it's a steep cliff and a narrow little road. Do I really want to take this road, even if it's 15 minutes faster? Or do I want to go inland, not follow the coast road or whatever this might be, the cliff road, and tack on another 15 minutes, but not be in danger of falling rocks? Hell yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the road to the right. I'm not going to go toward the negative, or potential for negativity. I'm going to keep choosing things that feel brighter, lighter, safer. I like the spin on this, like that our character is, they're not afraid of the devil. They say the devil exists to tell me what I shouldn't gravitate toward. If something makes me feel fearful, anxious, obsessed, any of those things, I'm going to listen to that and I'm going to intentionally choose a different path. So even though this is a single character, I'm going to wager to bet if they had a very toxic relationship in the past and they are absolutely committing to saying, I will not have more negative relationships, I won't have more toxic relationships, they are saying, but I'm not going to dismiss the fact that I did have one in the past because it taught me the red flags to look for. It taught me what to veer away from. That's the way I would say this. I think that's so important to look at where we've been, not as like, oh, this horrible thing I never want to think back to, but look at it as super informative. We have a 3 of Wands. Again, they're moving forward. We have the 4 of Swords. We have the 9 of Swords. So our character is still focusing on their future. And their future, they know, is going to be filled with healing. They know that it's going to be filled with love. They know that it's going to be filled with something much more positive. But they also know there's going to be a pitfall somewhere in here. It's something they're afraid of. What is the thing that our character is afraid of? Because they weren't afraid of the devil, but there's a fear in here. Something about after I feel totally healed, I'm afraid of what? Hanged Man and Judgment. So interestingly enough, this single character says, right now, I know I'm fired up and I'm determined I'm going to move on with my life. As I do that, and as I get further and further away from whatever toxic stimuli I was around, I know that my heart rate's going to slow. I'm going to feel more relaxed. My life is going to be going smoother. I'm going to feel really good. And at that point in time, I know that I have a loving, giving heart. Am I going to slip into like almost not just forgiving somebody for having been toxic or having been someone that, propelled me to move on and leave this behind me, but am I going to see it in such a compassionate way? I wonder if this character worries that they're overly compassionate and that when they heal, they have a tendency, and they know this about themselves, they have a tendency to minimize how bad something really was, or to over empathize with whomever was super toxic, to the point where they're like, you know what, I can just understand why they were that way. And then what if I allow them to kind of weasel their way back into my life? I think this character is saying, I know me, and I know that's my weak spot. I have a great capacity for forgiveness, which we would think would be a strength and a wonderful thing. But the fact that they're nervous, that they're going to be able to entertain the idea of, hey, I understand why somebody was so toxic. If I were in their shoes, maybe I would have done the same. So maybe now that I've healed from whatever chaos they put me through, yikes, what if I feel so sensitive and empathic and empathetic toward them that I actually see it too much in their perspective to where I would allow this person back into my life in some capacity? Here's the thing. I don't know if worrying about that behooves our character at all, because if they keep moving forward and growing into a different direction, the same way a river cuts a new path for itself, the more the water flows, the more a riverbank can shift and erode and make a new path for itself, to the point where we almost don't even remember where the river used to be. Or like the ocean also, we see tidal change over the course, sometimes of millennia, but still what, a port city that was a port city back in the BC era is now, 2 miles out. I'm just saying that they're worrying, what if by the time I move forward, I get so healed that I can actually entertain the idea of reconnecting with this person in some capacity? And I'm just saying, I think they're going to have grown so much by that point in time, they're not going to be anywhere near this person's energy anymore. So I don't think it's a worry. Lynn, thank you, sweetheart, just because he's sweetie pie. Thank you very much for that beautiful donation, honey. That is so kind. Thank you again, I should say. We have 9 of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is such a moot point. Our character does not have to be stressed out about this. They've been so determined to move forward, but then they're just a little bit worried, like, oh, I knew I was going to do better, but what if by the time I'm totally healed and this person pops back in somehow in my life, or I have to, stay strong and keep walls up? It's not even it's going to be a non-issue. Our character is going to be growing and building. I really feel like this is somebody who's reinventing themselves their entire life. They're going to have a better job. They're going to have a better location where they live. They're going to have a happier set of, like friends and hobbies that they do. Their life is not going to be anything like it used to be. And we have them being full blown, Queen of Wands energy. This is somebody who, this is really the evolution of our lead character, because I almost get this vibe that they had to more or less escape something. Like, really, like, this is a story of a newly single person, and they chose to become single, almost like they had to escape something toxic. And we're seeing them like on day one, where they're fired up. We know why they're leaving. They're just getting into their car. They're leaving that in their rearview mirror. They're happy. But the further they get, the happier they get. And then to a certain extent, they start to have it seep into their mind that, like, oh gosh, but please be strong enough to really leave it this time. Please don't ever go back. Come on, self. We gotta do better for us. And I think this is projecting a little further into the future, saying they're going to be just fine. Maybe it'll take, they always say it takes 21 days to make a new habit, a new pattern. Maybe they just got to get to that mark, where it's like one step at a time, day by day. I stay strong. I leave that in my past. I don't have to think anymore about the past, because do we ever think about the road that was 150 miles behind us, where we turned on that one bend and there was that big tree? No, we pretty much forget that. Once we've blasted past it, we don't usually think back to the particular places on highways that we've been. And that's the equivalent of this. This character is not even going to think back to this past anymore, even though right now they're worried about it because it's still so fresh, so raw, so new. Now, when I say this is like day one of somebody becoming single, that's relative, because time is fluid. This could be day 1001, but it still feels new to them to be out of a difficult situation. No matter what, we see so much progress for this character. I think that they're going to be feeling more attractive. I think that they're going to be, like, loving everything about their life, their wardrobe, the way they conduct themselves. They're going to suddenly one day wake up and realize, I am not even that person. I can't believe I was ever worried that I could slip back into something toxic. I am so not that person anymore. when I left that mess behind me and I promised myself I'd leave it behind me, I really did. I did the real thing. I let it go. So I think this is going to be a wonderful surprise for this character. It's just we're kind of, I feel like in this story we are supporting them and like giving them a little bit of courage to say, no, don't stress out. Just keep moving forward. You're doing great. You're doing great. Like that's my emotion for this character right now. You got this. You're doing great. We got the 6 of swords in the reverse, but we got the 2 of swords and we got the ace of wands in the reverse. This is the encouragement that says anytime in this journey that our character has a moment where they waver and they get nervous again, like, oh God, but what if I slip backwards into the same old patterning? All they have to do is block out the idea that what if I can't get away from this? What do you mean? What if you can't? You can do anything. And then the second thing is, do you want this back? If the answer is no, then just trust that it's not going to come back because we don't want it. We're not manifesting it. So let's not think about what we don't want anymore. Let's only think about what we do. It'd be like I sit here and I'm constantly thinking like, oh man, I don't want to, I don't know, like get tired. And all I think about is tired. And I think about, how I feel when I'm tired. I think about how, it feels so good to finally lay down. And now I'm not even thinking about the story. I'm only thinking about like, ooh, I hope I don't get tired because this is how I feel when I'm tired and I can't think straight and I can't, tell a story properly in my brain. It doesn't function. I'm not very creative. What just happened to the story? It dissolved in all of these inner thoughts of mine. So why don't I, if I'm not tired right now, why don't I quit worrying about it and just say, but I don't want to be tired. I feel great. Let's stay upright. Let's stay focusing on what I do want. I want to be here and now. I don't want to tell these stories because I love it. I think that that's the simplest way to help our character move forward. So one last thing I do want to ask is, what does our character wind up finding? Because we've worked, like beside them. We've been sitting here with this character on their journey. 10 of Wands. They let that boulder go. I'm willing to bet, even though I didn't see it until now, the real thing that our character had to let go of was not someone toxic, but and it wasn't their empathic nature, because that's a gift. That's a beautiful thing. Their forgiving nature, again, that's not a weakness, that's a strength. But I think they had to stop looking at their own behavior with like shame. Like maybe they were constantly saying, what if I'm not strong enough to keep my boundaries up? And it's almost like they kept insisting in their own mind that, you know what, I tend to get stepped on, or I know it's a weakness of mine, or I know that I'm ashamed that I ever got myself stuck in a toxic situation. And they're finally saying, why would I be ashamed that I went through something toxic? Don't we all at some point anyway? And isn't it just one piece of our chapter of life? It's one lesson. This is letting go of that big old burden, that big old stone. And I think the biggest thing here was, I think our poor character had really judged themselves so harsh for whatever they had endured and gone through, instead of saying, wait a second, I was a freaking victim here and I'm the freaking hero because I had the power to get myself out of it. Maybe it took a while. Maybe I went back and forth a couple different times, but I freaking did it. That's amazing. Like, look at how strong I am to get through something so difficult, and then to actually have, even the courage to attempt to leave it behind, and then the incredible courage to finally really leave it behind. Like, all of that shows how strong I am, not how weak I am. For me to have endured something so toxic and not let it crush me, that alone shows how strong I am. And I just think that that was their biggest challenge, even though I don't know that we knew that until this moment in time. So well done, character. I'm super happy to see them as a Queen of Wands. That's beautiful. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Lots of love to everybody. Just FYI, I will be going live at some point in time tomorrow, as I always do on Thanksgiving, and do some free reads for subscribers. I'm guessing it's probably going to be late at night. Just FYI, and it'll probably be quite late because it is a holiday here in North America. So, but keep that in mind, and I will see you guys then for that. And next up, I am going to be doing a Cancerian video, and then we've got some other zodiacs that we'll get to this afternoon and tonight. All right, bye guys. Thanks for being here. Hey, Suzette Tree. Oh, wonderful. I love Joshua Tree. Good to see you. Have a wonderful trip. Bye.